Another Reddit story from Ryan Rivers. Let's go.
I got promoted on a Tuesday. By Friday, people at work were ignoring me. Not in a dramatic way, just small things. Messages left unread. Conversations stopping when I walked up. I've been at this logistics company about 3 years. Same team the whole time. We actually got along. Lunch together, joking around, sending dumb stuff in the group chat. Then our manager quit. A few days later, HR calls me in and offers me the role. I remember asking, "Wait, you mean like temporarily?" And she goes, "No, we'd like you to take over full-time." So yeah, I said yes. I told the team later that day. Nothing formal. Jake just goes, "Oh, didn't expect that." I laughed a bit. "Yeah, same." Mike asked, "So, you're our boss now?" I said, "I mean, technically, yeah, but nothing's really changing." No one really reacted. It just moved on. Next morning was my first day. We had our usual meeting. I walked in, said, "Morning." A couple people answered, but it felt quieter. I sat in my old manager's chair. That alone felt weird. Jake looked at me and said, "So, this is official now?" "Yeah," I said. He nodded. "All right." I tried to keep it normal. "Look, I don't want things to get weird. We'll just keep working like before." There was a pause. Not long, but noticeable. Then Sarah asked about a deadline, and the meeting just continued. Later, I sent a message in the group chat. "Hey, we need to speed up turnaround this week. Let me know if anything's blocking you." Usually someone replies right away. Nothing. I saw people online, typing, sending stuff elsewhere, just not answering me. After work, I texted Jake. "Everything good on the team?" He replied, "Yeah, why?" I said, "Feels kinda quiet today." He took a bit, then wrote, "You're the manager now. It's just different." I didn't reply. Next morning, I walked in and a few of them were talking and laughing. Jake was mid-sentence, then saw me and stopped. I asked, "What were you saying?" He said, "Nothing important." I just nodded and went to get coffee. It wasn't one big thing, just a bunch of small moments that started to add up. By the end of the week, it was pretty clear. They didn't see me the same anymore, and I had no idea how to deal with that. At first, I told myself I was overthinking it. Like, okay, yeah, things are a little weird, but it's a new situation. People just need time. So I tried to be normal. I didn't change how I talked, didn't start acting like some strict boss. If anything, I probably went too far the other way. I'd say stuff like, "Hey guys, no pressure, but let's try to finish this today." Or, "If you need help, just let me know." Trying to keep it chill. Didn't work. Deadlines started slipping almost immediately. Before, if something was late, we'd at least talk about it. Now it was just silence, or excuses that didn't really make sense. One day I asked Mike about a report. "Hey, you said this would be done yesterday. What's the status?" He didn't even look up at first, just kept typing. Then he goes, "Yeah, I'll get to it." I waited a second. "Okay, when?" He shrugs. "Soon?" That was it. I just stood there like, what am I supposed to do with that? Later, I followed up again. "Mike, I kinda need a clear answer." He leans back in his chair, looks at me and goes, "Why are you stressing about it so much?" I said, "Because it's late." He smirks a little. "It was late before, too." That one hit. Because yeah, he wasn't wrong. But it felt different hearing it like that, like he was testing me. Same thing kept happening with others. I'd ask for updates, short answers, no eye contact. I'd send messages, ignored, or someone would reply hours later like nothing was urgent. And the group chat, completely dead when I said anything. But the second I stopped talking, it went back to normal. Memes, jokes, everything. I could literally see it. One time I opened it and saw like 20 messages, all sent right after I posted something that no one replied to. I scrolled through it and just thought, all right, got it. Then there were the side comments. Not direct, never direct. Stuff like Jake saying, "Man, things were way more relaxed before," while I'm sitting right there. Or Sarah joking, "Careful, don't let him hear that," and laughing. I tried to laugh it off at first, but it started to build up. Because it wasn't just jokes. It was the way people stopped including me in stuff. Lunch plans? Nobody asked. Coffee runs? Suddenly I wasn't part of it. Even small things, like conversations at someone's desk. I'd walk up and it would either stop or change topic. At one point I actually caught myself thinking, did I mess up taking this job? And I hated that thought, because I worked for it. I earned it. But it didn't feel like a step forward. It felt like I got pushed out of my own team. And the worst part? Work itself was starting to slip. Deadlines missed, tasks half done. And I was still trying to be the easy manager, trying not to push too hard. But it was becoming obvious. They weren't going to take me seriously unless I changed something. I just didn't know what that something was yet. The moment it really hit me was during a client call. We had this big account, not huge, but important enough that messing it up would look bad. Mike was supposed to prepare the report. Same report I'd asked him about twice already. Call starts. Client asks a question. I look at Mike. He just looks back at me. I'm like, "Do you have the numbers?" He goes, "I thought you were handling that." I actually paused. "No, you said you were finishing it yesterday." He shrugs. "On the call." "Yeah, didn't get to it." There's like a 3-second silence, feels way longer. I had to jump in and kind of improvise, give a rough answer, said we'd follow up with details later. Call ends. The second it's over, I just go, "What was that?" Mike stands up, grabs his phone. "Relax, it's not a big deal." Not a big deal? We just looked completely unprepared. He shrugs again. "Happens." That's when something in me kind of snapped a little. I said, "No, it doesn't just happen. You had time to do it." He looks at me like I'm overreacting. "Why are you talking to me like that?" I honestly didn't even raise my voice that much, but suddenly I'm the problem. I just said, "Because I asked you twice already." He shakes his head. "This is what I mean. You changed, man." That sentence just sat there. I didn't even know what to say to that. After that, I went back to my desk and just sat there for a bit. Because now I had 2 problems. 1, the work was getting sloppy. 2, anytime I tried to fix it, I was the bad guy. That's when I realized being nice wasn't working. So I started changing things. Nothing crazy at first. I sent out a message. From now on, I need daily updates on tasks. Just quick check-ins so we stay aligned. No emojis, no "hey guys" like before. Just straight. A couple people responded with "okay." Most didn't. Next day, I followed up directly. "Mike, update?" "Still working." "Need an ETA." End of day. Short, dry. Same with others. Then I started writing things down. Who missed what, who was late, who didn't respond. I hated doing that. Felt petty. but I also felt like I didn't have a choice anymore. End of the week, I called a quick team meeting. Nothing formal, just, "Hey, can we talk for a minute?" Everyone's sitting there, kinda quiet. I said, "Look, things have been slipping. Deadlines, communication, it's not where it needs to be." Jake leans back and goes, "So what, we're getting a lecture now?" I ignored that and kept going. "I'm not trying to make this a big thing, but we need to be more consistent." Sarah goes, "We've always been like this, though." I said, "Not really, and even if we were, we can't keep doing it." Mike just shakes his head. "Yeah, you definitely changed." There it was again. I felt it this time, like irritation, not just confusion. I said, "Or maybe I just have a different responsibility now." No one said anything after that. Meeting ended pretty quickly. And walking back to my desk, I realized something. I'd officially stopped trying to be one of them. And I had a feeling they weren't going to take that well.
After that meeting, things didn't blow up right away. It was more like a slow shift. People still did their work, but now everything felt tense. Short answers, no small talk, no jokes around me anymore. And I stopped trying to force it. If something was late, I called it out. "Hey, this was due at 2. I'll send it soon. I need an actual time. 30 minutes. Stuff like that all day. At first, it felt uncomfortable, like I was pretending to be someone else. But then, things actually started getting done. Not perfectly, but better. Which should have been a good thing, except the attitude got worse. One day, Sarah came in 20 minutes late. Before, no one cared. We all did it sometimes. This time, I just said, "Hey, next time let me know if you're running late." She looks at me and goes, "Are you serious?" I said, "Yeah, it's just basic communication." She laughs, but not in a nice way. "Wow," and just walks off. Later, I hear her talking to Jake, not even quietly. She never cared about this before. Jake goes, "Yeah, well, different person now." I'm literally at my desk, like 10 feet away. They knew I could hear. I didn't say anything, but I started writing stuff down more carefully after that. Late arrivals, missed tasks, everything. A few days later, Mike misses another deadline. I message him. "We talked about this, what happened?" He replies, "Working on it." I go, "This keeps happening. I'm going to have to escalate if it continues." He doesn't answer. Instead, like an hour later, Jake comes up to my desk. He goes, "Hey, what's your problem with Mike?" I'm like, "I don't have a problem. He's missing deadlines." Jake crosses his arms. "We've all missed deadlines before." "Yeah, and now it's an issue." He gives me this look. "You hear yourself?" I pause. "What does that mean?" "It means you're acting like you're better than us now." That pissed me off more than I expected. I said, "No, I'm doing my job." He goes, "Nah, you're enjoying this." I actually laughed a little. "You think I enjoy this?" He shrugs. "Looks like it," and just walks away. That whole conversation stuck with me, because part of me was thinking, am I going too far? But then I'd look at the work. Things were still barely holding together. So I pushed more. Started setting clearer rules. Deadlines weren't flexible anymore. If something was late, I followed up immediately. If it kept happening, I documented it. Eventually, I had to give my first official warning. It was to Mike. I called him into a small meeting room. He sits down, already annoyed. "What is this?" I said,
This is a formal warning about performance. He just stares at me. You're serious? Yeah. He shakes his head slowly. That's crazy. I said, you've missed multiple deadlines. I've talked to you about it already. He leans back. We used to cover for each other. I said, that's not how this works anymore. He just laughs under his breath. Yeah, okay. That was the moment I knew there was no going back. Whatever relationship we had before, it was done. And not just with him, with all of them.
After Mike got that warning, everything changed again. Not louder, just colder. People still did their jobs, but that was it. No extra conversation, no hey, nothing. If I walked into the room, it got quiet. Not instantly, but you could feel it drop. The group chat? Dead to me. Completely. But I knew they had another one. I mean, they weren't subtle about it. You'd see them looking at their phones, smiling, then putting them down when I got close. At some point, I just stopped checking. Work-wise, things actually improved. Deadlines were met, updates were sent, fewer mistakes. On paper, I was doing a better job than our old manager, but I felt worse. Way worse. I'd come in, sit down, do my job, go home. No talking unless necessary. Lunch? Alone, most days. Sometimes I'd just eat at my desk so I didn't have to sit there awkwardly scrolling my phone. One day I walked into the break room and they were all there. Jake, Mike, Sarah, a couple others. They were laughing about something. Like, really laughing. I opened the fridge, grabbed my food, and for a second I thought about saying something. Just anything. But nobody looked at me. Not even by accident. So I just left. And I don't know why, but that one hit harder than everything else. Because it wasn't anger or attitude anymore. It was like I didn't exist. A few weeks later, HR called me in again. Same room as before. They said, "We've noticed improvements in team performance. Good job." I just nodded. Thanks. Then they asked, "How are things going with the team?" I paused. I could have said, "Good." That's probably what they expected. Instead, I said, "They don't really talk to me anymore." HR lady gives that polite smile. "That can happen when you step into leadership." I said, "Yeah, I figured." But sitting there, it didn't feel like some normal adjustment. It felt like I traded something. Like I gave up being part of the team just to manage it. And I'm not even sure it was worth it. I go to work, everything runs fine, targets are hit. And I've never felt more out of place in that office. Sometimes I catch myself thinking about how things were before. The jokes, the random conversations, even the stupid stuff that used to annoy me. And yeah, I miss it. I wanted to move forward in my career. That's what this was supposed to be. But honestly, if I could go back to that Tuesday and say no, I don't know. I really don't know what I'd do.
If you like this story, you'll find more like it on my channel.